And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2011 Nokia Business Innovation Award is Professor Veena Sahajwalla.
I know Anne's been reminding us since, I don't know, since the States, finals, that you got to remember, prepare your speech. And of course, this is what happens when you don't take good advice. You don't have a speech ready. But I've got to, wow, I've got to say, I am just blown away by all the amazing women out here. What an incredible bunch of women. Wow, fabulous. I mean, I listened to all their stories, and I've got to start by giving a massive applause to Therese Rain. Wow, that is fabulous. That is fantastic. What an inspiration to all of us, Therese. Thank you. And all these amazing women. I mean, I look at someone like Catherine Byrne. What a day. And what a day she's had. And she comes up here and she's like, cool as a cucumber. And I go, wow, these women are so inspiring. I just feel so humbled and absolutely honored to be in the company of these amazing women. I mean, they have done so much. They touch our lives, and they make such an enormous difference. This world just would not be the same without these absolutely brilliant and passionate women. And I just feel absolutely delighted that I'm just even considered to be one of the group of these amazing women. So give them a round of applause. I don't know. I guess, while we're acknowledging women, I've got to start by acknowledging, first of all, the woman who did inspire me to even get to this stage, my mother. I grew up in Mumbai, in India, and maybe that's part of, in a way, the inspiration for me to be working in something like waste. I don't know, do I look wasted tonight? I'm not. Let me just tell you, that's a common phrase we use in our smart center. We go, well, guys, we're wasted. Are we going home more wasted tonight? Yes, we are. Because we look at all kinds of amazing solutions to recycle waste materials. And we go, if we can actually add value and upcycle our waste, what an enormous difference it would make to the environment, to the community, and of course to the economic bottom line. If we can actually prove that there are waste resources that can actually be upcycled and can be used in a value-added manner, that would add an amazing opportunity for all of those parts of the world where they are struggling to look at how one might be able to take all of the burden that the environment faces. I mean, rubber tires is only one example. We've recycled enormous quantities now of rubber tires here in Australia. And I've got to actually give credit to Australian industry with the passion and the desire to make a difference to the environment that we live in. It's absolutely fantastic. I've got to mention my industry partner, One Steel, who actually believed in the science that we had developed and said, what the heck, we are going to be the first ones in the world to take this risk, but if we are successful, we would be the first ones in the world to be able to use these types of recycled materials to actually make an enormous difference to the environment. But guess what? The science actually showed us that it was actually better for the steelmaking process. We actually improved the efficiency of steelmaking, and we have also shown that we can, in fact, reduce our energy requirements by using these types of resources. So what a difference it makes if you can only stop to look at things in a slightly different manner. We don't look at it as a waste that needs to be a burden to our environment, but we see it as an enormous resource, as an enormous opportunity to add value, to add wealth to communities all over the world that actually are struggling. If only we could find ways in which we could, in fact, add value to all of these waste resources. So we're looking at whether it's plastics, rubber tires, agricultural waste. We're also looking at automotive glass. Think about all the glass that comes out of all the cars and so on. So, I mean, there is just an endless range of possibilities that we're looking at, our ability to be able to recycle these as basically value-added raw materials. Our technology has now been implemented in Australia, and of course, it's now also had its first international implementation. So that really just goes to show the creativity coming out of Australian researchers, which goes a long, long way in having a huge international impact. And I'm sure this is just one example of so many different amazing things that Australians do in terms of creating knowledge, creating that wealth of knowledge, and that whole work that we do around technology transfer and, more importantly, knowledge transfer to the rest of the world. We can make a huge difference to so many parts of the world by just looking at creative and innovative ways in which we can actually add value. I've got to say, of course, it's all because, I guess at some point in time when I was growing up in Mumbai, it was actually quite amazing to go around looking at all of the industrial waste, all of the waste that, of course, we grew up with, but to not see it as a waste, but to potentially start to think about, well, what else could we do with it? And of course, I remember telling my mom, you know what, I actually want to be an engineer. And you can imagine, you know, the heartbreak that an Indian mom has when her nice Indian daughter says, you want to be what? An engineer. That's not what good Indian girls do, you know. You have to become a doctor. So anyway, long story short, here I am. Regardless of what she said, she knew that if she wants me to go off and be happy and be successful, that's really what she has to do as a mom, and I hope I'm doing that for my own girls as well. But I suppose I have to stop and thank all of the people who work at the University of New South Wales with us, all the researchers. We've got amazing talent from all over the world. There are students who come along, staff who work from, whether it's Romania or Ghana or Chile. I mean, we've got people from all over the world who choose to come to Australia to work with us because they can see the enormous amount of talent and benefits that they can, in fact, then go back and take to their own countries when they've finished their education at the University of New South Wales. So for me, it's an absolute pleasure and a delight to be able to travel to different parts of the world and to see some of our graduates doing some incredible things, and to feel that we had maybe that tiny little role to play in terms of shaping who they are and the work that they do wherever they live. The fact that they make an enormous difference to the environment and to the community that they live in is pretty spectacular. So I really do want to take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate all the staff, the students, whether these are undergraduate, postgraduate students, the University of New South Wales, who actually does, again, believe in the work we do, to be able to say, this is important for us, to be able to have a real impact on our communities, on the environment, and of course, our industry partners who are willing to, at the end of the day, support the research. I have to, of course, acknowledge the Australian Research Council, who actually funds a lot of the good research that happens in university sectors all over Australia. I think without that, we will not have the absolute amazing discoveries that come out of Australian universities. So I've got to really take this opportunity to thank so many different organizations, whether it's the ARC or industry partners, who go out there and actually put support behind a lot of this amazing R&D that comes out of Australian universities and research organizations. As you can tell, I mean, without that, innovation just wouldn't be possible. So let's give a big round of applause to that. Speaking of industries, I certainly would like to thank our industry sponsors. Certainly would like to thank Nokia and Telstra and all the industry sponsors who are sponsoring this event. Certainly none of this would have been possible without their support. So would like to certainly thank them for that. I guess last but not least, I have to thank my husband and my girls who can't be with me here today because, of course, husband's doing babysitting at home. So, you know, someone's got to do all the hard work. I'm here, that's me doing the hard work, and he's having fun at home. I've got to say, of course, I hope I'm able to inspire my own daughters and hopefully a whole range of young women out there who are looking to be scientists and engineers and entrepreneurs and follow their passion. Thank you very much.